Ivory rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, what's good, y'all? It's the Chillmeister, Chris Gary, and you are tuned into a very special edition of Focus Fights Audio Presents, which, let's just say, there are special interviews that I don't really like calling special, and then there are special interviews that I have no choice but to call special. And, people say there's one talent you should enjoy from the beginning of their career, and you should remember them when they're on top, like at the very apex of their career. And while I know plenty of folks like that, this man, with his moves, his charisma, his personality, his draw, basically his pizzazz, so to speak, je ne sais quoi, I think, takes the cake, and he's dazzled crowds alike since 2008, continues to do so to this day. I don't want to give this man too much of an intro. All you need to know is that he's from New Orleans. He fought out of Houston forever. He's been wrestling since 2008, and he's been on the Title Match Network more than any other competitor in that entire entity's history. I think this man should be the mascot of the damn thing. But
Oh
still,
damn.
if you know him, you know him. If not, do some damn Google searching. Anyways, this is the F-16 of professional wrestling. He is called the Mysterious Q. How you doing, brother?
Yo, what's up, man? I'm good, man. I'm good.
Nothing much, man. I've actually been following your career since 2012 when the entire reality of wrestling was put on television for the first time. I have really been, excited for what your career has entailed. And in the case of now the entirety of Texas professional wrestling, I guess what the entire future of this business in this state has entailed. I mean, did you think that in 2008, when you started out your career, that it would be something similar to this?
Uh, no, no, I didn't. I didn't see this at all. I didn't see this coming.
Understood. Because it took a lot of growing pains and a lot of improving just to get there. But still, though, when it comes down to you personally, I know that you just recently came back from hiatus back in June. You just came back off of a year-long layoff wrestling for New Texas Pro. How has the return been since the hiatus?
Um, there really, I want to say like there really hasn't been like the official return. Like the official return is next week, next Sunday, August 25th, for New Texas already platinum.
Okay.
Um, so the time off is, I mean, it's had its ups and downs. Like um, the surgery and recovery was like its own battle. Like that was tough. Like that was probably like one of the toughest things I had to mentally and physically endure. Um, at a point, it was tough, like to watch wrestling. I didn't want to watch it. Um, but now, like I'm slowly starting to get back into the groove of things. So I want to say overall, it's been a challenging journey, but it wasn't anything like I couldn't handle.
Understood. And I mean, come to think of it, it's kind of hard when you see your peers wrestle all over the damn country and in some cases all over the damn world, and you're not out there basically reaping the benefits alongside them. I mean, especially when it comes down to guys like Brian Keith, girls like Hyon Overa and Alex Gracia. They're ripping and roaring all across the country and the world. I mean, don't you kind of wish that you would be ripping and roaring along with them?
When it's like to that degree, like with those people, not so much because it's more of just like happiness or like I don't know. It seems like I'm watching like an indie show somewhere when I see those people on there. because like I would see Roxy doing like her this heel turn that she has like a whole new like perspective, and I'm just like, this is somebody different. This is somebody new. So like
Mm,
that was pretty wild. Seeing somebody like Brian Keith on there though, um, knowing him, it was more like a, hey, this is going to be. It's kind of like I'm in here first, and I'm gonna open the door for everybody else. That's kind of how I see it. Like Hyan always been killing it. And shout out to Hyan. She just won Queen of the Indies. So
as of last
dope.
night.
Yeah, that was dope. Yeah, it's just when like I would say like it sucked. It sucked in the sense of I would watch things and I would see how wrestling kind of progresses, and you'll see somebody like Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland in the match they had, and it's like, yo, wrestling is so advanced from when I left. Like, I don't even know if I can come back and mentally think like, okay, let me put something together like this. So, like, I mean, when it comes to like that aspect of, I don't know if I can do this again. That's where like my head was when it was like, man, I don't even know. I don't even want to watch wrestling right now.
I mean, I can understand that, especially considering the fact that, again, you started back in 2008. You basically been ripping and roaring across the country, but now you seeing everybody pretty much evolve and in some cases innovate new moves, new styles, new outlooks of the world of professional wrestling. I mean, don't you think that compared to how it was back then, that things are starting to get a little more intuitive, not just with social media, but basically with overall viewpoints around the country and around the world?
Definitely, man. Like, I knew coming in the business, my trainer told me, he was like, this business constantly evolves. Like there is always a change. Like some things may go full circle and come right back around, but it's always gonna like evolve and change. And with the advent of like social media, like getting involved into it, it adds like a new layer, uh, good or bad, depending on how you see it. You can promote yourself. You can create your own narrative, no pun intended.
Mm,
With your social media and your platform. And on the other hand, like I don't know, you could come out and say some stupid stuff and you'll be blackballed or you'll be canceled, you'll be out. So
I mean, come to think of it, there's plenty of people that said some, and you can go ahead and feel free to curse. I'm pretty
yeah,
sure, you know, this isn't a podcast where we'll just hang you by the collar and just force you to say whatever. But still, though, I've seen people do and say some pretty stupid shit, and
yeah,
basically still are in the business to this day. I mean,
yep.
especially when it comes down to certain people and certain entities. But still, though, that's basically, I think that's probably what social media is for the professional wrestling world today. It gives you the option to filter out those that you enjoy from those that you just can't stand. Am I right or
Yeah.
am
Yeah, you're right on that part. Yeah.
mm-hmm. Now, when it comes down to the beginning of your career, obviously you started out. I mean, would you say that you started out your entire career with Booker T's Pro Wrestling Alliance and later the reality of wrestling up to this point?
No, I started originally with Tugboat Taylor at Wow, which was like World of Wrestling.
Right, right, right. Rest in peace to Tugboat Taylor,
Yeah.
Chaz. But still, though, I think I remember correctly, Tugboat Taylor had a wrestling school and had a presence in the professional wrestling landscape. But
He did for a good while. Then they joined with NWA, and so they became, was it NWA Houston? I think it was.
It was either NWA Houston or NWA Lone Star, I think.
It was one of them. Yeah, like I know, like once NWA got involved, they had like a few name changes.
Hmm. I mean, last I checked, they were Lone Star Championship Wrestling before they closed up shop, and they had guys like the Hebrew Phenom David Starr. They had Ray Rowe, who is now Eric of the Viking Raiders.
Yeah.
Basically, had a good chunk of people just go through there, you know. But still, though, when it comes down to your days of wrestling under Booker T, I mean, obviously, like I mentioned earlier, your big break was back in 2012. You wrestled the Samoan Beast in a steel cage, and I think that was one of the first things I seen on the Reality of Wrestling on Q57, which is now a boring ass home shopping channel. But yeah, how times have changed. But still, though, from that point, when you won the Raw Heavyweight title over the late Samoan Beast, did you feel like your trajectory had begun as you would basically be a star of this nascent promotion? Because let's face it, in 2012, the promotion was only like about, I would say, like around 7 years old at the time, Reality of Wrestling.
Yeah, it was pretty fresh. I think it was like maybe four. It probably may have been 4 years.
Right.
Um, I kind of felt it coming before I got the title. To be honest,
Mm,
I was in I was in a best of seven series with Ryan Davison,
right.
and as that got into the later stages of the feud of the series, I could see it like with the crowd, and I could feel it coming. And I had a conversation with Book, and uh, he said that they were gonna push me. So I felt it coming.
Hmm.
Um, so like when I had the title, like I was prepared for it. I was ready for whatever was gonna come with it, because I mean at that time I was still having fun. So like it was like, all right, like I'm pretty good now. So if I could just keep having these good matches, and I'm training at this point, like I'm training damn near every day. I thought like, okay, if I do this long enough, like eventually, like I'll get signed. So that was my mindset at that time. So like I was 100% prepared for it at that point.
Oh, yeah, of course. And I'm an idiot for not realizing this. It wasn't 2012, it was 2013 when you had that big break in the Reality of Wrestling, and 2014 when you defeated the Samoan Beast. But I digress. Still, though, when it came down to that particular run as the World Heavyweight Champion, you had matches against Alex Reigns, Hardcore Holly, which of course was one of the first big hit matches for the Raw. You and Bob Holly, and obviously Jarrett Steele and Mario Bocala, Pro Wrestling Syndicate. But still, your big break was pretty much shattered when you faced off against Falaba for the World Heavyweight title, and of course, it led to the advent of Hayan Overa being involved with the Raw. But
Yeah.
when it came down to that match against the Filipino Sumo, what came to mind?
Uh, I don't know. It was I didn't. It was crazy because I didn't understand like what we were doing. Uh, because I heard what was going to happen like the night before, and I was like, wait, what?
Hmm.
So at first I was upset. I was like, bro, like you can't beat me, take my title, and take my mask, bro. Like that's like, damn, what's that? You'll take my girl, bro? Like, uh, nah,
And
but
yes,
yeah, yeah. So nah, but once we got down to it, it was fun, man. Because the reaction like we got from the crowd, like when he beat me, it was just complete like shunned silence. Like what? And then he took the mask off, and it was like, yo. So it was supposed to be something good, man. It was supposed to be something like it was supposed to be like a pivotal turning point. Like, hey, I'm losing the mask. I don't know, like at that point, like if I was like fully developed, like facially wise and emotional, like to like elude emotions
Mm,
uh at that point. But like, I mean, that's why we do it. I mean, you go through it, and like if there's a hiccup or you see like where, hey, where can I fix this, where can I fix that, like you do it. um but overall, like the time with Follow was fun, man. Like that feud we had, that was dope. It culminated in that cage match that we had at like another Summer of Champions,
mm,
which
yeah,
was it was funny, man. We were so tense leading up to that match. Like we were so like tense and like nervous. And in the intro, he slips and almost steps like through the steps, like almost breaks his leg. And in my head, I'm like, oh no, this match is not gonna happen. Like during his entrance, and like he hops back up and like he looks at me and he's in gimmick, but I can see he wants to laugh and I want to laugh. So we were having like this mean stare, but like in the eyes we're laughing, and that just eased the tension, and we went out and had like a badass match.
yeah. And I mean, the commentary for that match with Brad Gilmore and I don't really like mentioning this man much,
Yeah,
Matt.
you don't have to mention his name. We good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna mention that man because he's basically an asshole. But still, though, point of the matter is the commentary was just flawless for the match. The moment was just exciting, and it basically didn't hurt that you were already dominant in steel cage matches already. But
Yeah.
still, though, do you feel, even though this was 9 years ago with that rematch with followed by, do you feel like steel cage matches are starting to become more of your specialty?
Um, maybe. I mean, Steel Cage it's one of those matches where I'm like, I don't like the sound of it. But
Mm,
if I see it and I'm like, okay, like it can definitely put you in the zone, because I mean at that point nobody can run. Like you have to man up. Uh, so
true.
I guess you can say that. I think I have them. I have more wins than I do losses in steel cage matches.
Understood. I mean, especially considering the fact that, I mean, I'm not saying that to basically say, oh, the Q, I mean, the mysterious Q can only do well in steel cage matches. Nah, you can do well in any match they put you up against any guy or anybody in any stipulation. But still, though, I'm just basically saying because, it seems like that's where some of your best work is laid down. But
Yeah.
still, though, when it comes down to the, I mean, I'm not going to basically say you left the road, but you're basically a star in the road. You're inducted into their little Hall of Honor. I think I photographed that on Twitter like months ago. But still, though, point of the matter is you're in their Hall of Honor. You won their I'm sorry, I'm having brain farts all over, but still, though, point of the matter is you're one of the most decorated stars in reality of wrestling history. But do you feel that, you know, a lot of the road history, if they were to basically say, oh, you know what, we're just going to go ahead and acknowledge somebody else instead of Q, do you feel like a chunk of the reality of wrestling is just basically your career and nothing else?
Meaning as far as what, like the history of Raw?
I mean, basically, as far as the promotion's DNA.
Um, I'll put it like this. I played, and these are Booker T's words. These aren't my words.
Okay.
I did a whole lot for Raw. I played a very pivotal part in bringing eyes to Raw.
Mm-hmm.
and I pretty much helped build Row. Booker
So,
T's words, not my words. Like if I'm saying it, I'll say like I definitely played like a big part in Row, especially at like a point when uh, they were struggling. Um, there was a point where they had to go and like erase some things from the history books, and
hmm,
I would say like I'm pretty. I don't think like there's anything like of mine like they could ever like erase. Like you could like delete, but like you can't erase it because like I'm a part of their history. Like I'm a part like not only their part. Like I mean, because it goes bigger than that. Like I'm a part of like Texas, like the
rest.
independent scene in Texas. Yeah, I'm a big part in that.
And I mean, come to think of it, I know that you grew up in New Orleans. You basically, I mean, did you spend most of your childhood in New Orleans, or spend most of your formative years in New Orleans, or spend it here in Houston?
No, it was between New Orleans and California.
Oh,
That's that was my growing up. Like I would come to Houston every now and then because I had family out
mm-hmm,
here in Houston. But like as far as like growing up, that was New Orleans. I did all my growing up. By the time I came to Houston, things had transitioned, and I'll just say like I learned how to become a man in Houston. If that makes sense.
right, right. I mean, basically, I'm saying that because obviously Houston has a big time professional wrestling history with Paul Bosch and
Yeah,
obviously Bob Murphy at TASW and obviously Booker T. But still, though, that basically leads me to ask, even though I know you didn't grow up watching Paul Bosch, and neither did I. I mean, I'm only like about a few years younger than you, but still, though, do you feel that what the Row has managed to do over the years that you've been with the promotion, and yeah, you can basically say that Booker T said that you are the reason why the Row is where it is now. They wouldn't be in Texas City without you. But do you feel like a lot of the newer history of Texas professional wrestling is basically due in part because of the reality of wrestling?
yeah. To clear that up because I don't want that sound clip just to get out to where it's like, uh, your role is at where they're at because of me. I played a part in that. Like it was a team effort.
Mm-hmm.
We all played a part. We played our parts well to get Roe, and there were some other people too that helped him get to Texas City. As far as the scene now, uh, I'm gonna say like even now, man, like uh, with the new influx of like talent that's coming through and coming down, like new faces all around. I'm gonna still say like I still played a part in that too because you gotta fill spots. There's always next man up, like in this business, and that's why I don't harp too much on certain things because I know like soon as you're hurt, like you're out. All right, next person in, and I get that. It's like a game, like a marathon. So like one leg's out, okay, next leg's in. Um, I forgot your original question, man. Like I was,
You know what?
what was
Okay,
it?
I'm basically, I mean, if you have seen my previous interviews or basically have heard of me, you know that I'm basically that of the long winded, loaded ass questions. I mean, some of the shit I just basically say just because I talk too damn much. But still, point of the matter is, I understand that, you know, that question is a little bit loaded and I apologize, but still, you can basically say that the row nowadays is like what Paul Bosch was back in the 80s or 70s or 60s, but still, going to where you are now, obviously, you have been wrestling back and forth between promotions like the Row and River City Wrestling, and even New Texas Pro over the last 6 years, especially more recently, all the way back in 2018, really becoming a big star for Bartek's promotion, becoming their first Texas heavyweight champion, and then obviously ballooning to just something incredible. I mean, what has come to mind ever since you started wrestling for New Texas Pro?
Um, it gave me a breath of fresh air. Like it legit, it breathed uh new life into like my career, and it gave me an outlet. Um, I'll say like at the time, like I didn't feel like my career was. It just felt stagnant. I wasn't happy with like my progression or like storylines, or I just wasn't like happy with stuff, and I was like upset, and it wasn't like more upset at things that was happening to me. I was more upset at just how uh like we know like with anything like there's gonna be shit talk. And I was just upset with a lot of like shit talk on like certain athletes,
Mm-hmm.
and then they would leave and go make it, and then it would be like, hey, congratulations to this guy, I knew he was going to make it. And like
Yeah.
to me, like I get the business that we in, but to me like that shit is so fake, and like I don't respect it. And so in my head I was just like, bro, like they don't respect the cookie, like they want the crumbles when like somebody make it, but like most of these people they don't respect the person. So around that time I was like just saying like I'm gonna make them respect me. I'm gonna make like the fans at the scene. I'm gonna make the scene respect me. And so around that time, I started wrestling with New Texas. That was just like my outlet to go out there and just tell my story in the way that I could, which was wrestling. And shout out to Kiefer Bartek because he gave me that canvas and the free will to go out there and just have the type of match that I wanted to have.
Yeah, of course. And I know Star Tech, even though he hates when I call him that or anybody calls him that for that.
Yeah.
But I know Kiefer basically been doing a hell of a lot of work just to build New Texas Pro first out of Sealy, and then, well, I don't know. It started out in some far off little corner
Oh no,
in,
Abilene.
yeah, Abilene, his hometown.
Yeah.
But then migrated down to Sealy and then down to Pasadena, I think. But still, though, point of the matter is, Bartek just doesn't get a lot of credit for what he's managed to do with New Texas Pro, especially with the title match wrestling deal that y'all have been on for shit, probably since the damn promotion began back in like 2017 or 18, I think. But still, though, when it comes down to the whole prospect of, loving you when you're down, but hating you when you come up, I mean, I just think that sign of ass kissing is prevalent in not just professional wrestling, but really in all forms of entertainment.
In the world, to be honest,
Mhm.
it's everywhere.
I mean, it just to me sucks to see that happen, especially to somebody as talented as you. But at least you managed to boost yourself up, and especially considering with the amount of run that you managed to get throughout the state of Texas, and yeah, that even led to a one-off AEW appearance where you lost to Anthony Ogogo. I don't want to mention that too much, but
It's fine.
still, though, when it came down to repping Texas professional wrestling, basically putting the flag, or in your case, the mask, up for Texas professional wrestling, do you feel that a lot of people are sleeping on this territory nowadays because of the fact that, you know, everybody's all pissed because AEW is going to Arlington and not to our little neck of the woods, which is Houston. Everybody's all pissed that, a lot of these Texas professional wrestlers, like a Brian Keith, like a Hyon, hell, like a Roxanne Perez, even, are just making their names all across the world, but they're not really focused on what we're doing here. Yeah.
Um, I don't think so because like if they go to Arlington, like that's all. Like if you go to Texas, bro, that's all of us. Now Arlington is a long ass drive from Houston. I mean that's a long ass 4 hours. Uh, but we, I'm pretty sure we all see it as, hey, they're in town. This is for us. Like we all get a chance to shine if they come down. Um, I don't. I think at a point like post pandemic, we were really hot. That's
Mm-hmm.
when you had the Roxy, Brian Keith, Gino, All
Mm-hmm.
Day, Ryan Davidson. Um, Hyon still was coming down. Then we brought up like Stephen Wolf and stuff. Like we had like a good crop
I mean,
of.
front, even though it's kind of my thing, but would you also include Alex Gracia, even though now she got that Playboy deal or whatever?
I didn't know anything about that. I don't keep up with her stuff. She was around too, yeah. Like I would, but this was like more so of like the post pandemic era, like when it was like these group of people was kind of like bringing the eyes to Texas, and Texas was really hot post pandemic, and I think we kind of cooled down, definitely cooled down, and part of that could be because a lot of the talent moved away or got signed. So
Mm-hmm.
like right now, it's since I've been hurt, it's really just been Hyon, Stephen Wolf, um, and I'm talking like Texas people. That's kind of like building it. Zilla Fatu,
Mm-hmm.
um, Chris Carter for like he has like a pretty good following that he built like from scratch too. It's
Oh
been
yeah.
like, yeah, like those people who kind of been like holding it up, but I don't feel right now it like Texas is where it could be or
Mm-hmm.
like where it should be, and that's something like I'm taking personal because I'm gonna just say it now. Like I don't agree with the tribalism or the keeping Texas in a bubble because we need to be. If we talking like the old school lineage of Texas, like world class days, a lot of people came down, did that, and then they went out to do other things. Like they work the territories. It's not like, hey, just work for me down here and that's it. And I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, like I'm wrong. But I know in the atmosphere now that Texas kind of losing steam. The indie circuit is kind of losing steam because we just, I don't know. No, but I feel like outside of like three or four people, nobody's really like popping like that. Now, like I heard, like some people might be coming back to Texas, and if this person does, I'm not gonna say his name because I don't know like if it's out there if he's coming back. But like he's real good. I mean, he was here before. He can bring some legitimacy back to the Texas indie scene. But I feel like we're like I don't know like
Let me go
what
ahead and I'll guess as to that person. Does he normally wrestle on a emerald green mat in Japan?
no, not Ninja Mac, no. No, no. this
Um,
this this person been I forgot about Ninja Mac. He been holding it down too, but like I see him now as somebody who's already like made it and like they're gone. Like
mm-hmm.
he's big time now.
But
Um
I get what you mean when it comes down to Texas professional wrestling because, and you can also add Sam Stackhouse and Dante Leone, the latter of whom have also been in pro wrestling Noah as well. You can also add them to the list of folks making this shit possible now. But it's like the fucking tribalism. It's just like Paul Bosch would be rolling over in his grave if he were to even think about that, let alone Devon Eric's. Not Ross and Marshall, who are also busting their ass just to make this work. But I'm talking about Kerry and his brothers. But still, though, point of the matter is, I mean, wouldn't you think that tribalism in Texas professional wrestling needs to cease to exist in order to make this thing worth it?
It does, man. It really does, 100%. Like I felt when that group I brought, like there used to be like a joke where like a fan called like a group. It was a group of four people, and they called us like the pillars of the Texas pillars. I'm sorry, and
Mm
it was Roxy, Gino, Brian Keith, and me.
hmm.
And the thing with that was that we were trying to like I don't think like we ever came out and said it, but like Brian Keith would just be like he just wanted to like bring it together for all of us. Like just kill like the narrative of it's a bubble. Like we were trying to shatter that bubble because Texas has been a bubble. Like so many slipped on talent been down here, and it's because of like that tribalism and stuff. Like it can't be that Civil War dumb shit when we're trying to put the city on, like put the people who coming up behind us on. Because if it's all that tribalism and dumb shit, then when the people behind us coming up, they're just going to inherit the beef, and it's going to shit on people trying to come up and trying to make it. Like I feel now, honestly, and I'm venting a bit because I mean I feel now that nobody posts shit like genuinely. Like everything is just like like an op to like let me just post this. Let me post this so we can make it seem like this. Like I can read through a post and like you could somebody could tell me I'm wrong, but I know people on both sides of well, I just know people like in the business and how they talk and things get to me. And it's just I just feel like it got to stop. And I tried to stop it. I tried the middleman and have like a truce with stuff. Um that's all I'm gonna say with that. Like I don't know. I just don't. I just think we all should kill the dumb shit and just work together. But I know that that ain't gonna happen. I know for a fact that shit ain't gonna happen. So
Stand that, and if it continues to not happen, I mean, come to think of it, you look at what, and I hate to add some more competitors to this, but you look at what Athena has been doing in Ring of Honor, and I had an encounter with her that I keep playing in my Twitter sphere for all eternity of her interrupting one of my promos on the Indies. But you look at what Athena has been doing, Kylie Ray and Miranda Alizé, who I've been a fan of since she was basically just getting out of high school when she was 18, but still dumb. You look at what they're doing, and you look at what the tribalism in the Texas professional wrestling landscape is doing now. I mean, if that continues to go on, we'll never see another talent like any of those three, or like yourself for that matter, ever again come up the same way that y'all did. Because, in a way, and this basically goes to not just the Texas wrestling landscape, but the overall professional wrestling landscape in general. I think the main thing that kills this whole thing is all the bullshit of saying, "Oh, well, this promotion is going to get more people in that seats than other one," or "No, this promotion is going to get more ratings on television than the other one when we're focused on streaming." I mean, all this shit really does need to come to an end. And I think that when it comes down to the tribalism, that's the main thing that needs to cease. And you said that right on the head, man.
yeah, I feel like what Athena's doing, like what she built, Athena has a good system because she will accept people from like whoever wants to come. Like that to me, like because I've seen people from like where like oh like you can't go work there, you can't go work there, but people from both places went to go train with Athena, and Athena has like a good system of polishing up wrestlers, definitely women like for example, like Maya World. Like I wrestled Maya World like before she went to Athena, and
Mhm.
then like I just saw the progression so fast. How like she went from, and this is not a bad thing when I say it, but she kind of like wrestled like a girl to
Mhm.
now she just she wrestles like an athlete. Like her movements, the crispness, everything just rapidly like increased. So like Athena definitely has like a good system going on. Not too familiar with Miranda and what system she has. I just know like the local guys train. She's like one of the head trainers at local. Kylie Ray definitely. Kylie's the gym though. Like she's one of those people that like I think either side would always protect and make sure like she's safe. Well, like they should, because she's one of those good people um in the business.
Oh yeah, of course. Kylie's always been cool people to the world of professional wrestling. It's just that a lot of these ignorant ass trolls just basically gave her shit because she wanted to, control her own narrative and think about herself.
Yeah, sometimes like you need to take a break from things, man. Like, and if you do, like, I don't feel like you owe that to anybody. Like,
Mhm.
if you want to like take some time off for yourself, like to do whatever. Because I mean, I did the same thing earlier this year. Like, I took a hiatus from social media because I don't know, like stuff was just
You could
it
basically
was
say things have been cloudy or just outright stormy, right?
yeah. I mean, it's just yeah. It's just times you just gotta when you're in a bad head. Well, I want to say bad headspace. Just like when you just sometimes you just got to go into like your own real life. Like I don't think people see us as that, like as people. Like just going back to like the social media thing, like we kind of put ourselves like on social media like as this platform as we're always like in gimmick, and I don't think people see us for like the humans that like we are. Like we go through same like the same issues like they do, but when we go through it, like we're on the platform to be like to be made fun of, like no matter like what we go through. It's almost like sometimes we aren't allowed to go through what we go through. And sometimes and I mean that's fine to put on that front with it, but at a certain point, like you gotta just take some time away from you before like you snap on somebody. Cause I mean I've seen people snap on people, man. So like I don't think I ever will, but like sometimes like you just don't know. So like it's good to take some time away for you to do whatever you got to do, or if you want to go build like your family or do whatever, like you go do that. And when you come back, like the real one's gonna respect you and love that you came back and not go shit on you for taking some time off to like get your mental right.
Yeah, I mean, it's like what Les, L.E. Dollar Sign, once said, always posting that caption, but the hard times, they ain't here for. The people ain't here for in this case. I
Yeah,
mean, people, and especially both of us being African American men, we go through a lot of shit just to
yeah,
basically, you know, get through our own struggles. I mean, I don't even post my shit out on social media for that exact reason because people will probably think of me as a different human being than what I am. But
yeah,
still don't. When it comes down to your hiatus, I can totally understand that because it just basically gave you a lot of time and a lot of room to grow, not only as a wrestler, but as a father, husband, brother, son, what have you.
yeah, yeah. Definitely did. And it builds endurance. Like in this realm, you got to have tough skin. And I think now, like for instance, like I took that hiatus off social media, and then like I came back, and then I kind of heard some things directed towards me, and it was negative, very negative, not true. And I know, like, if I didn't take that break from social media,
You
that
were going
that
on.
that would, yeah, that would have triggered me, and I would have like been in a bad mental space. And at that point, like, I was just like, man, this guy tested me just to see if what I went through, and the reason why I left, to make sure that, hey, like, do you understand the reason why? And this was a test, and I was just like, I can handle this now. So like, I'm ready for all the shots, all the jabs, or whatever. So
I mean,
everything happens for a reason, man.
true, true, very true. I mean, if you would have snapped, I'm probably sure you probably would have pulled up like Deontay Wilder into somebody's gym and just beat the shit out of somebody.
Nah, I wouldn't go that far. Like, nah, because although whatever supposed to happen in the locker room stays in the locker room. That's supposed to be like the one of the rules that should never be broken. But nah, I wouldn't do that. I mean, I would have a conversation with somebody. Like, I don't. If it got to that, then it would. But um, I'm more of the mindset like, hey, like, I'm honest, man. Like, I'm real. I'm honest. Like, that's the one thing. Like, I guarantee nobody can shit on or say like it's not true. Is that me not being solid or me not being honest? Because I keep it real with the boys, like 100. So like, if I was to hear something, I would just have a conversation with them to understand like, what's this? Why is this? And sometimes like you don't you don't need to, but yeah, I wouldn't resort to beating somebody's ass unless I had.
I
But
mean, as long as it's organized mayhem and not disorganized mayhem, you know.
yeah, we professionals, and I'm older now, so like if I was younger, I would have been on that type of time. But we grow, we mature, and some things could be just a misunderstanding from just hearing the wrong information, because a lot of that shit goes on in this business, in the world, to be honest.
Hmm.
So, and I get that. So,
Now, when it comes down to it, I'm not gonna give away your age. I'm gonna just say you a little bit older than I am, but you basically are at that point now where you've been in this business for 16 years and you starting to think about that clock just ticking down. I mean, I would basically say, do you see yourself doing this in about 5 to 10 years, or do you see yourself?
next 10, yeah, I could still be doing this in the next 10 years.
I mean, I'm just basically saying because we talked a whole lot about how tribalism needs to cease to exist for the
Yeah.
growth of the game. But do you possibly see yourself teaching some of the future competitors some of what you have gone through, like a Tugboat Taylor did to the generation of your era, or even like Booker T and Brian Davidson?
Um, I c- I can. Um, I'm not fully like subscribed to the role of being a trainer or like teaching or having somebody like under my wing. There are like a few people like I'll give advice to and things. Um, I think once, I don't know. You know what? I think I'm probably already doing that. Now that I think about it,
Mm-hmm.
I I'll just say like I can tell certain people what to look out for, but at the end of the day, it would really only be up to them to apply that in real time to like whatever's going on, because this business has a way of disguising a lot of things, and it's it's a manipulative business, man. So like, and you'll be manipulated into doing some stuff that like you don't, or just are picking a side to where like you just didn't know like what was happening or what was going on. So I can coach or mentor like certain people, but that it'll ultimately be up to them to like learn how to navigate the waters like in real time. You can only give them like the tools or whatever.
I mean, it's like that old saying goes: you can teach a horse to drink. I mean, you can teach a horse to go to the water, but you can't make him drink.
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes down to it, the entire anything that involves entertaining the masses, and I'm talking about from kid content all the way up to, you know, the not so suitable for work content. Anything that basically entertains is manipulative.
Yeah.
Manipulative, damn it. But still, though, point of the matter is, I get what you mean by that. And all you just have to do is teach them the right way to put themselves over and the right way to get themselves noticed. That way, it'll help out in the long run for them to know from you and to basically go by, what you used to do. Am I right?
Yeah. I mean, that's life. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Understood. And now, I mean, I'm sorry if I basically had you on for this long. We've been talking for damn near an hour. I almost forgot. You got an event next weekend. Can you talk to me a little bit more about your match with fellow Reality of Wrestling alum, the Adonis J.J. Blake?
Yeah. This match is what, maybe like 6 years in the making, five
Mm-hmm.
years in the making. Because he was actually the first New Texas pro heavyweight champion, and I dethroned him to be champ. Um, I mean, this is a long time coming. Um, there's a lot of like personal feelings like in this match because I don't know, a lot of people don't like JJ,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like I get I got some of the heat for JJ. So this match here is going to be, I know like it's a redemption story for him, but for me it's also, hey, like all this shit that I was getting for you, I'm gonna have to give it to you in the form of an ass whooping. So next Sunday at New Texas Already Platinum, it's just a culmination of two sides, and we meeting in that ring, and a story is gonna be told, and somebody's just gonna have to get their ass whooped. And I'm pretty sure like it ain't gonna be me. It ain't gonna be me. I've been sitting out on the sideline for about 8 months, man, steaming on like all this shit from him that he caused. So
Right. Of course, of course. And when it comes down to the rest of the card, I know that there's a lot more action to look forward to. Even an international debut from Hanako of Stardom. She'll be facing off against Rachel of House Rose. But
yeah,
if there was one match on this card, and also Hayard returns to action against Vix Crow after winning the Queen of the Indies last night as of the time of recording. But if there's one match that you would be looking forward to on this card if you weren't competing on it, what would it be and why?
the Stephen Wolf Brick Savage match, because I forgot to bring up Brick, but Brick has been like he's been gaining some traction uh in the indie scene as of late. And I don't know, Steven just been an asshole, man. He's been like a real asshole ever since he cashed in for his title shot on Brian Keith. And I think for forever, like he'll be forever hated in Texas because of that. Uh, so any chance to see him get his ass whooped, I'm all for, because he's just one of those guys like the way he acts, like you want to see him get his ass whooped. And Brick is that type of person, almost like a Broly, just to like probably gonna throw him around a good majority of that match. And I know like Wolf has this uh he has this group, his little group with, but I feel like Brick is strong enough to just take all three of them on by himself. So that would be the match I would most look forward to, like if I wasn't wrestling. But I'm wrestling on the card, and like that's still like a match I'm looking forward to see because I think we might have a new Texas Pro Heavyweight Champion by the end of the night.
Oh yeah, of course. And if y'all want to get y'all tickets on that, if you're looking at me right now, if you're looking at this gorgeous face, kind of. But still, though, if you're looking at me right now and you're wondering how the hell can I get tickets, just go to newtexaspro.com for more information. Just don't do it too late, though, because they probably won't be selling out at the door Campbell Hall in Pasadena next weekend. But still, though, point of the matter is, as we tend to wind this down, I'm just one. Obviously, this is your time to put yourself over. You know, if you got any social media plugs to do it, if you got any special thanks you'd like to give out, floor is yours, man.
Yeah. With that, like I'm gonna give. I'm not gonna be like an asshole. Like I'm gonna give a shout out too to Row has a show next Sunday too. Their breakout show, and they're bringing in a girl from NXT. I saw Tatum Paxley or whatever. Um, I don't. Was she the former Bea Priestley? Was that her?
No, I
Oh,
think that
that's oh no, it's
be
Davenport. Okay, okay, never mind. But Tatum Paxley, she had a feud with Roxy, didn't she?
yeah, she did.
Oh, okay, yeah. So they're going to be bringing her in, and they have a show. Their breakout show next Sunday as well. I think it starts before the new Texas show. I think. I would hope. I don't want to promote two shows that's going on at the same time, but I mean, this just to let you know, like I'm not part of like the dumb shit, man. Like if you're on that side, you can make it to that show. If you want to see that show, yeah, and like if you want to see like. Um, New Texas already platinum show, like My Return, Alicia Fox, some of your other favorite wrestlers. Like you can go to both. Like it's fine with that.
Or
Um,
or
yeah,
in the case of this show, because I think it's also going to be on the Title Match Network. No, wait, not Title Match, but
IWTV.
independent.tv.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
go check out the Row Show, which I think is going to be starting at 4 at the Walker, Texas Lawyer Arena down there at 9300 M&M Lowry Expressway, Texas City, Texas. But still, if y'all want to check out that show and just watch Already Platinum later that night, y'all can do that because it'll be streaming live on IWTV. But still, though, please continue with the plugs and shout outs if you can.
Yeah. And I'm back. I'm finally back on Twitter. So a lot of people said they was having trouble finding it. So it's the handle is the underscore Carter underscore BLAQ.
Hmm.
But if you just type in Mysterious Q, I should pop up. I'm on Instagram with the Mysterious Q as well. It's like those are the main two social media platforms that I'm on currently. I'm still not getting a TikTok, so I ain't uh I ain't on that train.
Shit, I ain't. I mean, I know that people are saying that TikTok is helping them out, helping them grow their business, but it ain't.
Yeah.
I mean, but you ain't gonna let no spy from China or anywhere data.
I just seen how it can eat up people's time. Uh just like a few scrolls and before you know it, like 3 hours done passed and you ain't got to do like none of the stuff like you wanted to do. So
Hmm.
that's that, yeah.
But still, though, I understand how you feel on the changing of the Twitter account. I had to change my account recently because of some two-factor authentication bullshit. I'm on Twitter now.
Yeah. I
J.
lost my IG because of that. My
Yeah,
personal Instagram because of that.
I understand, man. But I'm on Twitter at J. Chris Gary, CHRISH. That is. But still, don't you know? I always ask this question when it comes down to competitors, or when it comes down to anybody that's entertaining, and that is this. And we're gonna wrap it up off of this. If you weren't a professional wrestler the last 16 years, I mean, what would have been your plan B? What would have been your backup plan had wrestling not come into your life?
Um, I would have been playing baseball or basketball somewhere, or I have like my own gym, um, or I have like my own food truck. It would have been one of those things.
Hmm. I see. I mean, come to think of it, I wouldn't be surprised if you. I mean, I'm not going to basically harp on your build or anything, but you've had that athletic build probably ever since you started this whole thing. I mean, would you say that if you were on that diamond, you would have probably been not a five tool player, but probably a damn good shortstop?
Um, could have, but I was scared of getting hit in the face with the ball, man. But I was a real good outfielder though. I was a real good center field. So that was my expertise. I was an outfielder.
Hmm. Understood. Understood. And is there anything that you would like to say to the fans who are probably not only stuck on the fence about you, but stuck on the fence about what's going on in Texas professional wrestling right now? Is there anything that you'd like to say to the fans just to tell them, hey, stop with the tribalism?
I think like a good part of it, like nobody really knows like what's going on. Like I alluded to some things, but I didn't spill the beans and I didn't open up on like exactly what's going on. And I think like when it comes to the like majority of the good fans, like there is none. But if there's one thing I could say is that like when you support one, like you just know like you supporting like all, because we all can't make it if there's um
Hating and
it,
debating.
yeah, that's because I mean we need y'all to like come up because we don't need Texas being like a sinking hole or like a bubble to where people. There was a narrative a long time ago where they would tell you get out of Texas and you make it. If you get out of Texas, you can make it, and that was the case for a long time, and like it kind of still holds true. So like if we could just like get on one accord, man, and just raise up like the scene, like boost the scene as a whole, boost like your favorites, but like boost everybody, and like and understand that you can love one without shitting on the other. Like I mean, I know like the era that we in, even like with all debates, it's if you like MJ, that means you hate LeBron, or like if you don't say if you don't have Kobe like in the top two or whatever, then you shitting on him, and that's not the case. Like we just need to like everything as a whole, and that's just like my words. I can't tell you what to like or like what to do. I'm just saying from somebody like in the field, like looking around and honest about the shit. We just need to support it all as one as a whole. And I think if we all just like join forces, man, like we would be Texas would be unstoppable. So many dream matches would happen, but we got a long ways to go from that, man. Like if I ended up dying and in a bad way,
Mm.
I would hope that my legacy and the stuff that I did like in this business and for Texas like alone would be enough to try to get people to talk and squash this beef and clear up the miscommunication about things. And that's my word to like that situation.
Man, that's bold. But if I could also say, it's best to just show support to stuff that you would actually enjoy. that, you know, what am I saying? Basically, I agree with you on that. It's like you gotta show stuff. You gotta show your support to stuff that you enjoy or just enjoy it all. And if you want to show hate, show some, disrespect or hatred to stuff that need to be hated on. Weed out some of the bad stuff that's in professional wrestling right now, especially promotions that just basically get away with putting problematic people on there. But that's neither here nor there. Still,
Yeah.
no. I mean, it's like that one wrestling blogger, I think his name is Brian Zane, once said, like what you like, just don't be a dick. And I think we can
Yeah.
all, yeah, I think we can all take that lesson to heart, especially when it comes down to these days where everybody has to pick a side. We can all just be equal and
Yeah.
neutral. But
Yeah.
but other than that, Q, it's been fun and obviously no matter where you go, I'm gonna always support you like I've been doing for the last dozen years. I
I
mean,
appreciate it, man.
still though, it's gonna be fun seeing what you got in store for the next few years to come, man. I really
Yeah.
appreciate you talking to me.
No problem, bro. No problem.